What if being alone isn't the problem? What if the real problem is that you've never learned how to enjoy your own company? Think about it. The moment you're alone, you reach for your phone. You check your messages. You scroll through social media. You look for someone to talk to. And when nobody is there, your mind starts creating noise. You feel forgotten. You feel unwanted. You start wondering why nobody's calling. But here's the uncomfortable truth. If you cannot be peaceful alone, you'll always depend on other people to feel okay. And the Stoics understood this better than most people. Marcus Aurelius lived surrounded by people, power, responsibility, and constant pressure. Yet Stoic philosophy taught him something incredibly important. Your peace must come from within you, not from the presence of other people. Being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Loneliness is the feeling that something is missing. Solitude is the realization that you don't need constant stimulation to feel complete. And once you learn the difference, your entire relationship with yourself changes. You stop desperately searching for attention. You stop accepting the wrong people just because you're afraid of being alone. You stop staying in relationships that destroy your peace. And most importantly, you stop measuring your worth by how much attention you receive. Think about how much power you give other people when your happiness depends on them. If they text you, you're happy. If they ignore you, you're upset. If they praise you, you feel confident. If they criticize you, your confidence disappears. That isn't emotional freedom. That's dependence. The Stoic goal is different. You learn to control your thoughts. You learn to control your reactions. And you learn to become comfortable with yourself. Because when you can enjoy your own company, you become much harder to manipulate. You don't stay somewhere just because you're afraid of being alone. You don't chase people who don't value you. You don't beg for attention. You can walk away peacefully, and that is where real inner peace begins. But becoming happy alone doesn't happen overnight. It starts with one simple decision: stop running away from yourself. Instead of immediately reaching for your phone when you're alone, sit with your thoughts. Instead of needing constant entertainment, allow yourself to experience silence. Instead of asking, "Why doesn't anyone want me?" ask, "Why haven't I learned to value my own company?" That question can change your life. Because the strongest relationship you'll ever have is the one you build with yourself. The first step to being happy alone is learning to stop fearing your own silence. Most people are uncomfortable when everything becomes quiet. Because when there is no music, no notifications, no conversation, and no distraction, your thoughts become louder. You start thinking about the past. You think about people who left. You think about mistakes you made. You wonder what others think about you. And suddenly, being alone feels uncomfortable. But here's the Stoic approach. Don't run from those thoughts. Understand them. You don't have to believe every thought that enters your mind. A thought is not a fact. A feeling is not a command. And loneliness is not proof that you are unwanted. Sometimes it's simply a signal that you haven't learned how to sit peacefully with yourself. The Stoics practiced this kind of inner independence. They understood that external things are temporary. People come and go. Relationships change. Circumstances change. Your social status can change. Even your possessions can disappear. So if your happiness depends completely on these things, your happiness will always be fragile. But when you build your peace internally, something changes. You become less desperate. You stop chasing people who don't choose you. You stop tolerating disrespect just because you're afraid of losing someone's company. And you stop confusing being alone with being abandoned. There is enormous freedom in knowing, I can be alone and still be okay. That doesn't mean you should isolate yourself. Humans need connection. Friendship matters, love matters, family matters. But healthy relationships should add to your life, not become the foundation of your entire identity. You should be able to love someone without losing yourself. You should be able to enjoy someone's presence without being terrified of their absence. That's emotional strength. And here's a simple exercise you can start today. Spend 15 minutes alone without your phone. No music, no social media, no messages. Just sit, walk, or write. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. Your mind will try to escape. Let it. Don't fight the thoughts. Observe them. Ask yourself, What am I actually afraid of when I'm alone? Maybe you're afraid nobody needs you. Maybe you're afraid of being forgotten. Maybe you're afraid of facing yourself. Whatever the answer is, don't judge it. Understand it. Because you cannot control what you refuse to understand. And once you become comfortable in your own presence, you gain something most people spend their entire lives searching for: inner independence. You no longer need constant attention to feel valuable. You no longer need constant noise to feel peaceful. And you no longer need another person to complete you. You become your own source of stability. There is another reason people struggle to be happy alone. They have never learned to separate their worth from other people's attention. Think about social media. Someone posts a picture and gets hundreds of likes. Another person gets almost none. Suddenly, one feels valuable and the other feels invisible. But did either person's actual worth change? No, only the amount of attention changed. Yet we allow numbers, messages, compliments, and other people's reactions to decide how we feel about ourselves. The Stoics would challenge this thinking, because anything controlled by other people is unstable. If your confidence depends on praise, criticism can destroy it. If your happiness depends on attention, silence can destroy it. If your identity depends on a relationship, losing that relationship can make you feel like you've lost yourself. That's why Stoicism teaches inner independence. You can appreciate praise without needing it. You can accept criticism without being destroyed by it. You can love someone deeply without making them responsible for your entire happiness. This is not emotional coldness, it's emotional freedom. And there's a powerful question you can ask yourself. Would I still respect myself if nobody was watching? Would you still work toward your goals? Would you still take care of your body? Would you still keep your promises? Would you still choose discipline when there was nobody around to praise you? Your answer reveals how much of your life is driven by internal values versus external approval. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself to focus on his own character, not reputation, not applause, not popularity, character. Because reputation belongs to other people, character belongs to you. And once you understand that, being alone becomes an opportunity rather than a punishment. You can read, you can think, you can train, you can create, you can learn, you can work on something meaningful without needing anyone to validate it. This is where solitude becomes powerful. When you're alone, you discover what you actually enjoy. You discover what you actually believe. You discover what you actually want. Without the influence of friends, trends, social media, or other people's expectations, you can finally hear your own thoughts. And that is incredibly valuable, because a person who knows themselves doesn't need to constantly follow the crowd. They don't change their personality to fit every room. They don't pretend to like things just to be accepted. They don't sacrifice their principles just to avoid being alone. They know, I'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who force me to become someone I'm not. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. And ironically, when you become comfortable being alone, your relationships often become healthier. You stop choosing people from desperation. You choose them because you genuinely value them. You don't ask, who will stay with me? You start asking, who deserves a place in my life? That is a completely different mindset, and it changes everything. Now here's where being happy alone becomes a real form of strength. You stop settling for the wrong people. When you're terrified of being alone, you'll accept almost anything to avoid loneliness. You'll tolerate disrespect. You'll ignore red flags. You'll keep chasing someone who clearly doesn't value you. You'll stay in conversations that drain you. You'll keep relationships alive long after they have stopped being healthy. Why? Because being alone feels scarier than being unhappy. But once you become comfortable with yourself, that fear disappears. You realize something powerful. Being alone is better than being with someone who destroys your peace. This is one of the most important lessons Stoicism can teach you. You cannot control whether someone stays. You cannot force someone to love you. You cannot make someone respect you. And you cannot control when a relationship ends. But you can control one thing: who you allow to have access to your mind and your life. That is your responsibility. The Stoics understood that attachment can create suffering when we try to control what was never ours to control. Love people, appreciate people, build meaningful relationships. But don't make the mistake of believing you cannot survive without a particular person. You can. You may hurt. You may grieve. You may miss them. But you can rebuild. And sometimes losing someone is not the end of your happiness. Sometimes it is the beginning of your independence. Think about the person you're afraid to lose. Ask yourself honestly, do I actually want this person in my life, or am I simply afraid of being without them? Those are two completely different things. If you want someone because they genuinely add love, respect, and meaning to your life, that's healthy. But if you're holding on to someone because you're afraid of silence, that's dependence. And dependence creates fear. Fear creates desperation. Desperation makes you chase, and chasing often makes you tolerate things you never should have accepted. The moment you become comfortable alone, you stop begging people to stay. You stop sending the extra message. You stop explaining your worth. You stop trying to convince someone to choose you. You understand, the right people don't need to be chased into your life. And if someone chooses to leave, you let them. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough about yourself to accept reality. That's Stoic strength. Acceptance doesn't mean you like what happened. It means you stop fighting reality. Someone left? Accept it. Someone changed? Accept it. Someone changed? Accept it. A relationship ended? Grieve it, learn from it, and move forward. Don't spend your life trying to rewrite something that has already happened. Your energy belongs to the present. And the present gives you something incredibly valuable, another chance to build a life you don't need to escape from. When you're happy alone, you don't stop loving people. You simply stop needing them to feel whole. And that is the difference between love and dependence. You can walk beside someone without making them responsible for carrying you. But there is one more level of emotional freedom, learning to enjoy your own life instead of waiting for someone else to make it meaningful. A lot of people say, I'll be happy when I find the right person. I'll be happy when someone loves me. I'll be happy when I have more friends. I'll be happy when people finally understand me. But notice what is happening. They're constantly placing their happiness in the future, and they're giving someone else responsibility for creating a life they should be building themselves. The Stoics would tell you to return to the present. Your life is happening right now, not when someone texts you, not when someone chooses you, not when people finally recognize your worth. Right now. So learn to create moments that you genuinely enjoy by yourself. Go for a walk without needing someone beside you. Read something that makes you think. Work on a skill. Exercise. Write down your thoughts. Sit somewhere quiet and watch the world move around you. Build something. Learn something. Pray or reflect. Do things that make you respect yourself. Because happiness isn't always excitement. Sometimes happiness is simply feeling at peace with the person you are becoming. And that kind of happiness is much more stable. It doesn't disappear because someone ignored your message. It doesn't disappear because someone criticized you. It doesn't disappear because you spent Saturday night alone. You become emotionally independent. And emotional independence is one of the greatest forms of freedom. But there's an important warning here. Being happy alone does not mean becoming isolated. Don't use Stoicism as an excuse to push everyone away. Don't convince yourself that you don't need anyone. That's not strength. That's avoidance. The goal isn't to reject connection. The goal is to stop depending on connection for your identity. Build friendships. Love your family. Create meaningful relationships. Help people. Be there for others. But remember that you are still responsible for your own inner world. Nobody else can think your thoughts for you. Nobody else can control your reactions for you. And nobody else can create lasting peace inside your mind. That work belongs to you. This is why solitude can become a training ground. Every time you spend time alone without feeling desperate for distraction, you're building mental strength. Every time you resist checking who texted you, you're building self-control. Every time you choose your goals instead of chasing attention, you're building discipline. And every time you realize that you're okay without someone's approval, you're becoming freer. Slowly, you begin to understand, I don't need to be surrounded to feel complete. I don't need constant attention. I don't need everyone to like me. I don't need someone beside me every moment. I can enjoy company and still enjoy solitude. I can love people and still love myself. I can lose someone and still keep moving forward. That is emotional resilience. And once you build it, being alone stops feeling like punishment. It starts feeling like peace. There is a simple Stoic practice that can completely change your relationship with being alone. Learn to enjoy your own company without needing to escape from your thoughts. Start small. Take a walk without your phone. Eat a meal without watching something. Sit quietly for 10 minutes. Write down what you're thinking. At first, your mind may feel uncomfortable. That's normal. You're not used to silence because you've trained yourself to escape it. Every notification gives you a distraction. Every conversation gives you stimulation. Every scroll gives you something new to consume. But when all of that disappears, you finally meet yourself. And that can feel uncomfortable. But discomfort is not always something to avoid. Sometimes discomfort is where growth begins. Ask yourself, what am I running from when I'm alone? Is it boredom? Fear? A past relationship? A lack of purpose? The fear that nobody truly cares about you? Don't judge the answer. Study it. Because once you understand what you're afraid of, it becomes easier to stop being controlled by it. The Stoics practiced this kind of reflection because they knew that a strong mind must be trained. You don't become emotionally strong by avoiding every uncomfortable thought. You become strong by learning that you can face those thoughts without being destroyed by them. And here's another powerful habit. Keep promises to yourself. If you tell yourself you're going to exercise, do it. If you decide to spend less time scrolling, follow through. If you set a goal, work toward it even when nobody is watching. Why? Because every promise you keep builds self-trust. And self-trust changes the way you feel when you're alone. You stop needing someone else to motivate you. You stop needing someone else to tell you that you're doing well. You become the person who can say, I trust myself to handle my life. That's confidence. That's inner peace. And that's why solitude can be so powerful. When you learn to enjoy your own company, you become selective about who enters your life. You don't choose people because you're desperate for company. You choose them because they genuinely make your life better. You don't stay because you're afraid of loneliness. You stay because there is mutual respect. You don't chase people who pull away. You let reality speak for itself. And if someone leaves, you hurt, but you don't collapse. You miss them, but you don't lose yourself. You remember them, but you keep moving. That's emotional control. That's resilience. That's what it means to be happy alone. Not to never feel lonely, not to never need anyone, but to know that even when you're alone, you are still enough to keep going. And once you truly understand that, loneliness loses much of its power over you. You stop fearing solitude. You start using it to think, to heal, to grow, and to become someone you're genuinely proud to spend your life with. So here's the real Stoic secret to being happy alone. Stop looking outside yourself for something you haven't built inside yourself. People can bring happiness into your life. Relationships can bring love. Friends can bring laughter. Family can bring comfort. But none of them can permanently fix an unhappy relationship with yourself. That work is yours. And once you understand this, being alone stops being something you fear. It becomes something you can use. Use solitude to discover who you are. Use it to recover from people who hurt you. Use it to build discipline. Use it to think clearly. Use it to become comfortable with silence. And most importantly, use it to build a life that you genuinely enjoy living. Because the goal isn't to say, I don't need anyone. The goal is to be able to say, I love people, but I don't lose myself without them. That's emotional freedom. You can enjoy someone's presence without fearing their absence. You can love someone without becoming dependent on them. You can be rejected without questioning your worth. You can spend a night alone without feeling like something is wrong with you. And you can walk away from unhealthy relationships because you know you'll be okay. Remember this, being alone is a circumstance. Being lonely is a state of mind. You may not always control who is around you, but you can control the relationship you build with yourself. So tonight, instead of reaching for your phone the moment you're alone, sit quietly for a few minutes. Ask yourself, Do I actually enjoy the person I'm becoming? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, don't hate yourself. Start building one habit, one promise, one peaceful moment at a time. Because eventually you will realize something incredibly powerful. You were never incomplete. You were simply searching outside yourself for something you needed to build within. And once you become comfortable in your own company, you stop chasing people who don't choose you. You stop begging for attention. You stop fearing rejection. You stop sacrificing your peace just to avoid being alone. You become calm. You become selective. You become emotionally stronger. And you become free. If this message connected with you, comment, "I choose inner peace" below. Like this video if it gave you a new perspective. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe to the Stoic Edge for more Stoic wisdom, emotional control, self-discipline, and lessons for mastering your mind. Remember, you don't need to escape solitude. Learn to use it. Because when you can be alone and still be at peace, you become very difficult to break or master your mind.